I've lived on Railway Parade for over 30 years now, and this here is our little patch of bush that my husband and I have been working on for 30 years. During that time we've managed to eradicate the majority of the blackberry, it's an ongoing job, and the ivy, and we've planted some new species, but most of it is regeneration, and we're really, really proud of it. We're part of the Friends of the Railway Parade group, and we do quite a lot of planting and cleaning up from Wandin Highway through to Sabir Avenue. We wanted to get new neighbours interacting with us and older neighbours talking to each other again, and this happened just after COVID when people were really hungry to go out and chat. So we pulled weeds, we planted things, and the group gained a bit of momentum. Very loosely structured group. We meet when we can, and a lot of us come out and just do weeding and tidying up as we're able to.
Generally we just meet when there's some work. Someone decides they will do a work party in one spot of the reserve and ring around and say, look, we're going to be working on this particular day. If you want to come and give us a hand, do so. Well, this part of the reserve, of course, that we're standing on now is the old Wandin Trail, and the last train stopped in 1965. This is attached here to Railway Parade, which has got, you know, a very nice patch of bush. And so the trail itself is very, very popular, and we decided our motto was greening the trail. And so working on Railway Parade as well, it fits in very nicely with that concept.
Moved into the street 32 years ago with our kids. Loved the idea that we would have a recreational trail here one day. Met Doug, got onto a committee to start preserving it and protecting. 16 years of planting thousands of trees all the way through to Yarra Junction, actually beyond Wesburn. We've done lots of plantings through that we can now see are fully grown.
I find it really fulfilling because we've seen so many native species, both animal and plant, return to the area. We've got echidnas living in the bush here that come down and visit the houses and then toddle back again. Lots of blue-tongue lizards. There's tawny frogmouths that breed regularly in here, and they're often sitting just up there.
We've got very good bird life. One of my great surprises was the other day there was a fairly unusual spotless crake came up from the wet area down on Railway Parade, and then was exploring around here for a few days and then came up to my place. We've had interesting things like olive whistler here, which is quite unusual, banded rails, but the common birds what we see are the usual New Holland honeyeaters, but their population is decreasing savagely, just far, far fewer than we used to have. Red-browed finches, blue wrens, they're still hanging on quite nicely, come up into the houses along Railway Parade. The poor old native animals are suffering a bit. I haven't seen any snakes along here for a long time, but the blue-tongue lizards, we still get those, and of course the little skinks, plenty of those. So there is quite a good scope for animal life to be moving along this corridor.
One of the other really rewarding parts about working as a volunteer is being able to engage with the community and people walking past. Being the rail trail, we have lots of cyclists and walkers, and being able to educate them on what we're doing and to explain why it's not good for them to go rushing through the bush and disrupting the new plantings. We've had people actually join because of that, and also say that they're going to start similar groups in their area. So the education aspect of being a volunteer is fantastic.
I've just kept an eye on the rail trail land opposite our house because there's lots of Indigenous vegetation there, and then helping Sue when she's got some plantings organised. Yeah, and just trying to spread the word in the area about not planting weeds and looking after your little patch.
Swamp gums around here, and red stringy barks and messmate eucalypts. Nice grasses, and there's some very nice forms of Banksia marginata around here. Tree ferns growing around here, and it's quite dense, so it is very good bird habitat. We do try and plant Indigenous ones, of course, and locally Indigenous.
Well, I like to be outdoors, just love the indigenous vegetation. Well, it's just being part of nature. It was good when our kids were young and they used to come and help too. We've had international students live with us over the years, and they would be forced into labour putting plants in when we had the working bees. My name's on one of the signs down there, Doug and Judy, down at Wild Cattle Creek area. We did that with the White Horse cyclists, so that would have to be, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, and that's just like a really established lot of eucalypts, not a lot of understory, but because there's so much tree litter and mulch there, it really hasn't grown weed. It's, you know, you just look at it and think, well, that's what you can do, and it's not really hard. It really achieves something.
I personally think it's a very valuable asset to the environmental community. Linear trails are very, very necessary for the birds and animals to travel along to go from reserve to reserve. People want to get involved with what we're doing on Railway Parade. Certainly there's space for plenty more people. Even if you just do a little area outside your house, it all helps nicely. And then, of course, we've got, on the other side of the railway line, we've got Rudiger, and there is a lovely bit of a nature reserve up there. And perhaps even people the other side of Warburton Highway up in Edmund Crescent, there's any amount of work can be done, but you only do it at your own pace. You don't have to labour mightily and bust a gut. You can just do it what you feel like doing and when you feel like doing.